Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the 2018 NFL Draft Class, specifically talking about Marcus Davenport out of UTSA. This is a guy that has gotten a ton of buzz going into the Senior Bowl, and I figured I would do just a quick production analytics video on him because he did have very good production. Now, for those that are not familiar with Marcus Davenport, or maybe not Marcus Davenport, but just my channel in terms of the data work and the other stuff that I do, production analytics, or at least market share data, just to give a quick synopsis on what I'm going to be talking about, is where you take an individual defensive statistic and you divide it by the team total statistic. So, for example, if Marcus Davenport had 10 sacks on a team that had 40 sacks, then Marcus Davenport had 25% sack market share production. But what you do with that number is you take that performance and you compare it to every single performance of every single edge rusher since the 1989 NFL draft class, and then boom, you have a way of comparing how the All-Pro players typically performed in terms of their production, how the Pro Bowl players performed in terms of their production as well, and then, of course, how long-term starters performed in terms of their data points. So essentially, it's a way of looking at this is how this guy performed, this is how All-Pro players typically performed, and this is how Pro Bowl players typically performed. So essentially, it's production traits. It's almost like film traits, but without the film, if you will. It's a different way of looking at things, of course, but it definitely is sort of a way of a fact, like these are facts, like I'm not making stuff up. These are just a way, a guideline, just to kind of give you an idea of how he performed in terms of his production, and then what his likely upside could possibly be based on his data. And when you get to Marcus Davenport's data, he's by far one of the most productive defensive end / 3-4 outside linebacker or edge rusher types in this draft class. Has a 96.07 solo tackle market share score, 99.41 sack market share score, and 99.21 tackle for loss market share score. And pretty much hits, as you can clearly see, all of the minimum thresholds when it comes to All-Pro potential, Pro Bowl, and Pro Bowl potential at every single metric area. But, and this is a big but, Marcus Davenport did not do this at Alabama. Marcus Davenport did not do this at a high-quality school. Like, he wasn't in the Big Ten. He wasn't in the SEC. This was at UTSA. And that calls into question some things. And again, this is more of an anecdotal argument, per se, because I haven't done enough. The data's all there, but I have to do a little bit more legwork to get the strength of schedule stuff down pat. But this is the only real concern with Marcus Davenport is strength of schedule. Again, production is great. It's amazing. But keep in mind that this is production against lesser competition. And there have been some anecdotal examples, at least from random stuff I've seen in the data, where you have a guy who performs like this at like a UTSA, but then doesn't really become much of anything at the NFL level, because even though he was really productive, there was a bit of easiness of that schedule, which caused him to have that type of production. So that's the only real concern with Marcus Davenport. We'll find out more in terms of when the combine rolls around and we know how athletic he is, because there are a couple concerns about that, at least based on some of the different draft Twitter scouts I've talked to. But he's definitely a very, very intriguing prospect based on his production, based on his film, based on just his physical characteristics. And I'll be very excited to see how he finishes out the rest of the year and where he ultimately ends up getting drafted. Because, again, this is a guy that's been getting a lot of buzz as a potential first-round player. But we'll see what happens once the process kind of fully goes through. And, of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. Hit that notification button so that you're always reminded when another video of mine drops. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.